Welcome back to BHookedCrochet.com. I'm your host Brittany, and in this tutorial I'm going to demonstrate how to make the magic ring using the half double crochet stitch. I'm going to be using a worsted weight yarn and a size 5mm crochet hook. However, you can create the magic ring using whatever yarn and whatever hook your pattern calls for. To begin the magic ring, we want to first take the tail end of our yarn and we want to wrap it around our first two fingers of our non-dominant hand. We're going to do so coming towards us. So we want to wrap it 2 times so we have 2 strands. And now what I'm doing here in the back is I'm holding on to these strands with my ring finger there, and I'm going to hold down on this tail with my thumb, and that's going to sturdy up these 2 loops around my fingers so that I can work with them. Now we're just going to take our hook and we're going to place it underneath both of those 2 loops, and we're going to grab that back strand and we're just going to pull it underneath the first strand. Now what we want to do is we need to use some of our working yarn, and that's coming from the back side here. Now what I've done is grab the working yarn with my pinky and my ring finger, and I'm just going to hold that up a little bit so that I can grab it with my hook. So I'm just going to yarn over and pull that through, and that's going to lock the magic ring in place. Now for this demonstration we're going to be doing half double crochet, so we want to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And now we're going to put this whole section here in a different grip because working like this is a little bit awkward. So what I like to do is just hold on to your chains here with your thumb so that they are steady and they won't come apart, and just slide your fingers out of that ring and gather up your yarn as you normally would. Now again, what I do is just slide my 2 fingers into that ring, and I want to make sure that this tail is laying over, coming down like it is here. And that's very important because that little tail end is what makes our magic ring work. So we have to work our stitches over top of this strand. Now from here we're just going to create a half double crochet. So we'll yarn over, insert our hook into that ring, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. Now for this demonstration I'm going to be using 8 half double crochet, however you can follow along with your pattern. This chaining of 2 counts as 1 unless your pattern tells you otherwise, so I've got 2 half double crochets. I'm just going to create the remaining 6. And again, I'm being very careful to make sure that I'm working over top of that strand, and I like to just kind of steady it with my fingers there in the background. And once you have your required number of stitches, then we can just drop our working yarn. And now I'm going to hold tight to the section that my hook is coming from, so that last stitch, and I'm just going to grab that tail and I'm just going to pull. And when you pull it, that's going to fasten up the center and close up your ring. Now sometimes you have to pull pretty tight. Now you want to be careful depending on the type of yarn that you're using. You don't want to break it. But once you have that pulled, you just put that out of the way. We'll just hold it into the back. And to complete the ring, we're just going to slip stitch into the second chain. Now sometimes that second chain is a little difficult to find, but once you locate it, just insert your hook into that chain and slip stitch to close off the round. Once you've completed the magic ring, I like to go ahead and take care of this tail end before I proceed with the pattern. So I'm just going to pull up that working loop and I'm just going to leave it there. And now if you have a darning needle, then you want to go ahead and thread that darning needle. And now I'm just going to work it under several of the stitches from those first round of half double crochet. And I'm going to kind of pull a little bit tight on this as well. And this is going to make sure that the magic ring doesn't loosen up on you as you continue to crochet your pattern. So once you've got that worked through a few stitches, then you can just trim off this tail and proceed with your pattern.